Hi, my name is Gabe Medina. I am an artist based in South LA. I'm currently one of the artists in residence here at the Ellsworth Artist Residency at Art Share L.A. I've been doing ceramics for about 4 to 5 years. I got my BA at California State University, Dominguez Hills. Currently, I make work about familial history and cultural hybridity through the lens of clay and photo archive. I first got into clay during my undergrad studies. I got to be the ceramics intern for my mentor and one of my great friends now. And it all kind of initially started with hand building, pinch pots. I was taking a lot of interest in functional forms that I see in a lot of Mexican households. In my work, I really like having a lot of raw clay present. I pull from a lot of visual languages from Latino urbanism, the plants we see growing in our yards, the fence gates that surround our homes. I really think this visual language is very specific to a lot of Southeast LA communities, and in my mind, and using these certain colors, these glazes, the raw material, I like to reference a lot of those agricultural practices we see carried on from places like Mexico and how they manifest here in the US. I'm not really good at the wheel, so all my stuff that you see here is mainly hand built. I'm really interested in how red clay objects and artifacts, they hold a lot of ritual use. They have a lot of history deeply embedded in Mexican homes, and that's kind of where my interest goes in. And a lot of my work, I'll reinvent traditional forms by enlarging or exaggerating certain proportions. And I kind of do that to think about how identity is warped through immigration in the US, same way I kind of do with my vessels. I would say I'm a very community-driven person. Even since starting this artist residency, I've had so much family come through and look at the work I'm making, and there's that instant cultural connection of recognizing these shapes that I'm doing and where that work is coming from. But even through just my time here at the residency and having strangers come in and instantly connect with the work I'm making has been really good for me. Having access to a studio space now has greatly changed the game for my art practice. Having a kiln shelves, being able to kind of come in daily and producing my work has expanded it in ways that I would have never imagined. For some context, my studio before this was a foldable table outside my house. I didn't have access to a kiln. Having all these resources, I don't think I'd be able to create this work without it. Having access to this studio and this kiln has allowed me to start thinking about the future, even the possibility of expanding the ceramics program here. Even during the openings, I've had people kind of come into my studio and be I didn't know there was a kiln, and I was yeah, there is. So kind of stuff like that. I'm definitely taking everything that I've learned here with me in the future, and I want to kind of keep just growing the love for ceramics everywhere.